morning, children. So, moving on with English, we are going to the third lesson from first unit. This is about a kidnap of a small girl, and that girl, how she manages the situation and how she dominates the kidnappers by her wit. And this is written in a very, very funny way where we can enjoy really. And of course, it is something like very odd that usually when kidnappers kidnap any person, it's quite common that people will get nervous by listening to that or by just feeling that they are kidnapped. They were kidnapped. But here the girl, she starts dominating the kidnappers, and how the kidnappers suffer from her over talking and over activeness. Okay, and this is written by Robin Klein. She is an Australian writer. She resides in Melbourne, Australia. She is known for writing books for children, and her other famous books are Hating Ellison Ashley, and Came Back to Show You I Could Fly, Halfway Across the Galaxy, and Turn Left. So these are the important writings of this particular writer. So now let's move on to the lesson. The Kidnapping of Clarissa Montgomery. Right. Now in this unit, you have read a story and a poem which used humor in different ways. Now read about a girl who has been kidnapped. Her behavior and her guardian's response might shock you, but will make you laugh nevertheless. So whatever may be the reason, right? But you will be laughing always, right? So without being in a very serious mood, like a small girl is kidnapped by the kidnappers. So it is not a kind of a negative feeling or a sorrowful feeling that you will be getting. Rather, you will be laughing a lot as you read this one. You will have to stay here only till your rich guardian pays the ransom, said the kidnapper, whose name was Humphrey. He felt rather sorry for poor little Clarissa. She hadn't said anything since they had grabbed her from the luxurious grounds of her mansion that afternoon. I think the poor little kid is in shock, Humphrey said worriedly to Spud, who had masterminded the abduction. Spud did not care if she was in shock, and neither did Milligan. So we have three names here, kidnappers' names. One is Humphrey, second one is Spud, the third one is Milligan. So there are three men who are involved in the kidnap. I repeat the names, Humphrey, Spud, and Milligan. So Humphrey is a little bit soft-hearted, and he feels very sad for the little girl being kidnapped by these people from her luxurious mansion. And then he was trying to scare her, saying that you will have to stay here only till your guardian pays the ransom. Ransom means the heavy amount that whatever they demand. And he was worriedly saying to Spud that she might be in shock. That is why she's not talking anything until we took her here. And neither the Spud nor Milligan responded, or they did not care for her whether she is in shock or not. And whose mind is behind this? Spud. Spud is the one who masterminded the abduction. Means the action of taking someone against their will, that is the kidnap here. Okay. So Spud planned everything, and Humphrey is taking care of the kid here, and Milligan is another man who is involved in this. Right. Just sit tight and Don't cause any trouble, kid. Spud snarled. Soon as the old man pays the 50,000, you will be sent back. So what he's saying, Spud is talking to the kid again and again. He sounds to be hard, but see, his heart is very soft and smooth, like kind-hearted fellow he is. And therefore, he wanted to talk something or the other with the child. He says that now don't trouble us and sit quietly. As soon as your uncle comes and pays the 50,000, we will release you. Right. Clarissa finally spoke. 50,000? She said. I'm sure he will manage to find it, said kind-hearted Humphrey reassuringly. You will be out of here in no time. So 50,000. So she was like in a tone of inquiry or a kind of question with a kind of doubt. So she was expressing 50,000. Then Spud, he said that yes, I'm sure he will manage to find it. Humphrey, I think, said kind-hearted Humphrey reassuringly, you will be out of here in no time. So Humphrey, as he is kind-hearted, so he was saying that you will be set free now after immediately your uncle brings that amount. Clarissa looked at him coldly. You're all mad, she said. You could have got a whole lot more than 50,000. My guardian is loaded. So loaded in the sense heavily loaded, what we say usually for trucks and all that. And even if we eat more, we say that we are loaded, right? Overloaded. And here, loaded here in this particular context means he is very rich. So now, to their surprise, what she is saying, Clarissa looked at him coldly. You are all mad. You people are mad. You have got even a whole lot more than 50,000. So because my guardian is loaded. She is in shock, Humphrey thought, and made her a cup of cocoa with his own hands. He had fixed up a corner of barn quite nicely with a toffee apple in a saucer. He was fond of little kids. Humphrey, as usual, is very kind-hearted, right? And he thought like why anybody will be so balanced and will be talking that my guardian is very rich, you can get more. So we cannot expect it from a kid, right? But she was saying that. So then Humphrey thought she might be in shock, and therefore he went to make a cup of cocoa, and also he decorated the saucer with toffee apple and all that, and he is very fond of little kids. Spud was setting up a poker game. Clarissa watched silently. Spud, who is a serious man, was setting up a poker game. I think in picture you can see the poker game means it's a game with cards, I think, and he is setting up the table for that. And Clarissa watched silently. So whatever is going on, everything Clarissa watches silently. You don't have to be scared of those gorillas, Humphrey whispered. They are really harmless. So Humphrey, who is very fond of kids, and here he is trying to make Clarissa feel comfortable in such a kind of environment where she is kidnapped and she is put in a darker area, away from the city, maybe of a village or somewhere. Right? And then he was like, see, when Clarissa was observing Spud arranging the table and all that, then Humphrey thought that she is scared of these, the other two men. Then he said, so they are very harmless, and don't be scared of those gorillas. I'm not scared of anything. Clarissa looked at his cards and then went round the table and inspected Spuds and milligans. Get rid of the red queen and keep the clubs, she said to Humphrey, and he did and won. And really, so when all the three people were playing, she said like, I'm not at all scared of anything. And she went around and then she saw everybody's cards, and then he was she suggested Humphrey to get rid of Red Queen and keep the clubs. That clubs, queen, diamond, all these are the names of the card symbols. She said to Humphrey, and he did it and won. So Humphrey won the game, like by following what Clarissa had said. Scat, kid, said Spud, but Clarissa sat down at the table. So, scat is a kind of word like where it is something like get away from here or go away, right? So, Spud was very angry and he said to Clarissa to go away once from there. But Clarissa sat down at the table. Can you all believe that a girl who is kidnapped can behave like this? And this is the speciality of this lesson. So we shall continue the next part tomorrow.